Welcome to exclusive diaries for inspiring relationship stories that touch your heart. Subscribe to stay up to date with our latest content and join us on our journey of love and connection.
I cheated on my wife and I don't feel anything about it. This took place a few years ago. The ages are accurate for that time. This is an alt account. I was 35M and my wife was 40F at the start of this. My wife and I had been together for 7.5 years, married for 1.5. In the first 6 years, I was loyal, hardworking, and dedicated. There was a point in our second year of living together, about 2 years into our relationship, when I was between jobs and had to go on welfare for about 2 months. I searched for jobs every day and kept busy during the days cooking and cleaning while wife was at work. Once I got full-time employment again, it was an overnight job, so we didn't always see a lot of each other. I took transit while she drove. Every couple of months, whether I was working or not, she would sit me down and tell me to not cheat on her. The first time, I genuinely felt bad for her. Clearly she had been through something like that before. The second time, I smiled and told her I haven't cheated on her. The third time, I was genuinely annoyed. I was always responsive to her texts and calls and accountable for every moment of the day. I began to feel like I was getting in trouble for things I hadn't done or even considered doing. Fast forward to year 6 of our relationship, I was working a different job and it was a Monday through Friday 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. position. This seemed to infuriate her. She hated about me talking about work at home and stopped appreciating my jokes/sense of humor, or generally anything that I found interesting. Whenever I tried to talk about what was bothering her, she would just say, "What do you think I'm upset about?" or "I'm not upset, are you feeling guilty about something?" She would openly declare that I was cheating on her, despite my constant availability and responsiveness. I had no real friends because she would get mad if I ever went anywhere, whether it was with male or female friends. I always asked her if she wanted to come and she accepted once and never again, stating she hated my friends. I hated how she made me feel for trying to have friends, trying to make my relationship work, and trying to make a decent living. I am not always socially aware, so things that people angry aren't always apparent until people are angry with me. But I never got an answer, it was always a deflection or defensive response. Then a new coworker, we'll call her Kelly, started at work and let me tell you, she made me feel so alive. I don't even know how to describe it. She laughed at my jokes, took an interest in the things that I would say, and had a kick-ass taste in music. Every now and then, she would have to ask me what I was talking about because she wasn't really into meme/internet/tech culture. We had plenty of differences, but nothing drastic. She apparently flirted with me, but things like that go over my head, likely due to the unawareness I had mentioned earlier, coupled with some self-esteem issues. As you might imagine, we began an affair that lasted a little over a year, which overlapped my wedding. I didn't do it out of revenge or anger. I could say she punished me ahead of time, so I might as well find out what I'm being punished for, but I'm not that petty. I could have said "F this B, I'm all about me," but I'm not that bitter. I did it out of love, which I know sounds messed up, but Kelly made me feel so loved, and I loved how she made me feel. Wife found out something was going on after going through my phone and found some texts. I never admitted to cheating, but she was determined I did. And while she yelled and screamed and hit me, I genuinely felt nothing for her. I wasn't happy that she was upset and I wasn't sad that she was mad. I just stood there feeling hollow. The affair didn't last, obviously. I knew it going in, this wasn't a forever thing, and I felt that she was destined for something far greater than me. It did make me realize that I was beat down and that I deserved better. It was the first time someone made me feel truly valued. I don't know for sure, but I think that's what love is supposed to feel like. It's something I never really felt before and I haven't since. Nobody in my life knows this. Everyone is always at an arm's length. Even my family seemed shocked that we got a divorce, but we were never really that close. Every relationship I've been in since has been open status. I make it clear when I start talking with women. Kelly and I don't talk anymore. She got married, and I don't really like the way her husband treats her. I found another job shortly after she told everyone that she got engaged. She ended up blocking my number sometime last year because I couldn't take her calls when I was on a date, which I explained to her. Even though I didn't like her husband, I didn't want to be the reason they broke up. The selfish side of me wanted her to choose me, but that wasn't the case, which I have no choice but to accept that. Thanks for reading this. I'm sure people will want to call me names or laugh, and that's okay. I genuinely understand. Now for the next story. My marriage is ending and I can't do anything about it. I just want to vent. Me, 36M, and my wife, 32F, have been together for 13 years. For the most part of our marriage, we've been happy, no major fights, just minor disagreements. Then in February 2020, I cheated on her with my ex-GF. I am not really in love with my ex. I was driven by desire and nostalgia. I managed to keep it a secret from my wife for 3 months. But the guilt is eating me away, and then I broke down and admitted everything to her. She forgave me with the condition that I'll end everything with my ex and I'll be better. I didn't. The ex and I still texted and met for a couple of times over lunch. Then about a month after confessing, I ended it with my ex. I've had enough and the guilt became unbearable. I'm through with the ex, blocked her from all social media accounts, and was seriously putting the effort in fixing my marriage, spending more time with the wife and kids. By September 2022, the ex started chatting me up again. She was using a throwaway account. Instead of blocking her again, I entertained her messages, expecting to finally end things with her amicably, but she was still pushing it. So I blocked her again. Everything was just running smoothly, not until the new year of 2023. My wife became suddenly colder than usual. She's avoiding me for the most part of the party. Then at exactly midnight, she showed me messages from an anonymous sender. The messages were screenshots of my previous conversation with the ex. My wife was livid, the angriest I've ever seen her. Some of the messages do contain hurtful stuff about my wife. Obviously, she wanted a divorce, but I begged her to reconsider and explained that all the messages were from the time when I was still cheating on her. She did not exactly forgive me or anything, but we still lived together, though we're acting more like roommates than husband and wife. I thought that this was my chance to fix things up, and for the most part, it seems that things are getting better. She's opening up a bit and even calls me by my pet name. Fast forward to yesterday, while still at work, she sent me messages, again, containing screenshots of messages from my ex's friends and family. The messages are malicious and manipulative in nature, insinuating that I am still having an illicit affair with the ex. This broke my wife even more. No explaining nor pleading is getting through her, and I think this is it. My marriage is officially over and I can't do anything about it. There's no one to blame here but me. I am just reaping the consequences of my actions. I wasn't blinded by anything. I chose to cheat on my wife, and this is the result. I can't even imagine what my wife is going through right now. I know that both of us are at a loss. I don't know how or where to start. This proved that we don't really know what we have till it's gone. The only thing that I have now are regrets. Sorry if it's incomprehensible. English is not my first language, and I'm not really a good storyteller. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. If you would like to see more, feel free to subscribe.